Alright guys, welcome to Fight Club from 1999. And directed by David Fincher, who also directed Seven, which will come out much later, another Brad Pitt movie, with also Morgan Freeman. So now we see a narration here of, I guess, the protagonist of the movie. Is a narrator, played by Edward Norton, who is about to be killed with a gun in his mouth. And a quick overview of the hotel he's at, and mentions a girl named Marla Singer, who you will see much later.
With a girl named Marla Singer. Bob.
Now this, and this flashback, but he's not in heaven, if you know what I mean, and it's actually a dude, Bob, played by Meatloaf. But he died a few years ago. Bob, Meatloaf, died in 2022. So, is that a testicular cancer talk space or a support group where other guys have testicle cancer, as they have already got their balls removed, including Bob? So how do you think he developed those on his chest, right? You get castrated, plus he's had experience with steroids. Apparently he was a bodybuilder too. So they all cry to each other as he continues to narrate that he can't sleep for 6 months due to his insomnia. So he's now at work printing papers as he has his Starbucks coffee cup placed there, and now his boss walks in wanting him to do things, played by Zach Grenier. I think his name's Richard, the movie.
He was full of pep. Must have had his grande latte enema.
Don't search that up. It's not pretty. So now he's sitting on the toilet as he looks at the IKEA catalog to buy some more stuff. I mean, look at those prices, damn, but he can buy it while still talking on the phone.
Now it was the Horchow collection.
No, you can't.
Harchow? I don't know what that means. The narrator is getting a medical checkup now of why he can't sleep, since he's desperate to be prescribed something to kill the insomnia in him. So the doctor says he just needs to get more exercise to make himself sleep better, since he wakes up in places and doesn't remember why he ended up there. He says he's in pain, as a doctor recommends him to go to a testicular cancer or balls cancer support group every Tuesday. And so he does. Is there now, sits in between these guys who are ball cancer patients who are here, as this guy gives a story about he always wanted kids, but sadly got testicular cancer before having any kids.
Well, she had her first child last week. With her new husband.
That's sad, man. What the hell? So that's that, and what you will also notice are these little pop-ups of the guy who we will see soon. Let me just slow it down and play that clip for you there.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, you see that? I see it too. So now we finally meet Bob, and we also learn that the way he also develops those boobs, like I said, he was using steroids because he was a bodybuilder. Faked his name here by naming himself Cornelius to avoid any attention outside. Cries, and now he can finally sleep normally magically because he is addicted to these support groups classes and is changing his life. So he changes the name every time he goes to a different support group. So from support group to support group, we finally ended at this support group now. He meditates and is now inside this Arctic cold cave where he sees a penguin. And that's it for that support group, and now he continues to move to more groups. Moving forward, we head off.
This was my vacation.
That's funny, and that you can join a support group like that. So now we move on to, and here walks in probably the only girl in this movie, Marla Singer, played by Helena Bonham Carter. And if you have seen the Alice in Wonderland movie from the early 2010s, the one with Johnny Depp, yes, that's the Red Queen from that movie. Yes, I was surprised too. Okay, now back to the movie. So she has no cancer whatsoever, no disease whatsoever. No amount of cigarettes that she smokes will ever give her cancer either. Yeah, I know. I guess some people are just immune to catching cigarette cancer, or any kind of cancer from smoking too many cigarettes. So, and she joins every support group that's signed up for, which is all part of insomnia for sure. And yeah, she is real. She's not like a She's not imaginary as some people are in this movie. Can't sleep anymore because Marla Singer has invaded all of his support groups, and now this.
And scream.
You liar! You big tourist! I need this! Now get out!
Trying to fall back asleep while watching this interesting ad for Rogaine. She's back at the support group, and one of the members, Chloe, has cancer, and she is desperate after she says this.
No one will have sex with me. I'm so close to the end, and all I want is to get...
So that's it for Chloe, and now time for meditation as spots Marla Singer sitting across the church room, as Steve is back inside the same Arctic cave, as he imagined Marla Singer being a tumor, if he had a tumor.
Sly.
Now the partner-ups now call himself Rupert. Here tells Marla that he knows she's not dying, and on with the fake crying as the two leave, as split up the support group sessions with her since they are faking it to kill time. And these two have a lot of time to kill. As she now sells her clothes from the laundromat, finally splits the support sessions with Marla, as he now wants to exchange phone numbers with her. So now back to work, traveling here and there. It looks like he's a recall coordinator for cars. Yeah, I know, never heard of that kind of job before. But apparently probably makes good money. We've seen him buy pretty much the entire IKEA catalog before that. And now at the job, spots where he takes a look at the cars, telling a story to this other passenger next to him.
Which car company do you work for?
A major one.
Wow, that's funny. Imagining a plane crash and now back to reality after having that insomnia crash. And now we finally meet the legit protagonist of the movie, Tyler Durden, played by Brad Pitt. So they talk to each other as Tyler reads the instructions in one of those airplane magazines. He asks for Tyler's occupation or what he does for a living, but Tyler thinks it's a joke.
We have the exact same briefcase.
Soap.
Sorry?
I make and I sell soap.
And now he finally reveals what he does for a living, that he sells soaps. So yeah, he just sells soaps, his own kind of soap. So now some more conversation pieces, and now Tyler Durden leaves the plane, and to know that suitcase blew up, something inside it was vibrating, which caused the explosion.
It was vibrating.
9 times out of 10, it's an electric razor, but every once in a while, it's a dildo.
So he had all of his good clothes inside it, and now we see Tyler Durden stealing a car. Back at his apartment, since that flight was for him, going back to his home state, and sees that his apartment blew up.
I suppose these things happen.
As the bellboy here tells him if he needs anything, but he only sees his fridge spatted on the floor and Marla Singer's number. How convenient to call her up and ask if he could stay at her place. So he hangs up, but instead calls up Tyler Durden from the business card he got from earlier, but he didn't pick it up. Or Tyler didn't pick up the phone yet. So magically, the payphone is now getting a call back up. So we can hear Tyler munching on chips as they're now at this all-night bar. Lou's Tavern is what it's called. Now talk about his apartment blow up and consumerism in a blanket called a duvet. And feels pretty sad that he lost all of his things, as Tyler tells him that he can just evolve and get better things. But you need money for that, Tyler. Now, Tyler offers a cigarette, hoping the insurance will cover all his burnt losses. So the two are ready to leave, as Tyler wants to question why he really came to see him after all those beers. Finally asks that if he can stay at Tyler's place, and says yes, and now
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
What?
I want you to hit.
And before that, the narrator mentions that Tyler has a part-time job as a projectionist for porno movies, or and even regular movies. It means clipping reels of film and put them into the projector, mixing the porn movie reels and the actual movie reels together by changing the little pieces of the reels, and voila.
Nobody knows that they saw it, but they did.
Nice big.
It's truly a fun job, and Tyler even works as a part-time waiter too. And back to reality, as Tyler still wants to punch him as hard as he can.
Motherfucker! Hit me in the ear!
Tyler punches back in the stomach, and now they wrestle each other. And now Tyler takes back to his place and now sees Tyler's house is a total shitbox. Dirty water, ancient and old, smells, crap everywhere, and you got it. And now the next day, back at the bar, the two do the exact same wrestling technique from the night before, as these guys walking out and notice it. Back at work, as the boss notices the black eye, and back to shitty living conditions, and back to fighting with more people watching, and this guy is loving it.
Can I be next?
Now some day-to-day lives back at work, as his employer is trying to talk to him, as his ears are all blocked up from fighting, or if you watch UFC. Now the two are back at homes, taking a shit, and Tyler taking a bath, as they talk about each other's dads they've never met. I mean, it's hard to believe Steve is only 30 years old here, as Tyler says, that they're a generation of dudes that were raised by women. Alright, next scene, the two are off to their daily adventures, as mentions that they're like Ozzy and Harriet, which is a real TV show, probably from the 1950s, I've never seen it. And now every Saturday, the two have their fight nights in the same bar parking lot. Back at work, as his colleague of his is presenting a new project or something, and he can't wait to do it again. The fighting part, as back at the bar, as we see so many cars parked outside. We see walking as a bartender working there wants everyone to go home. But he does make an exception, Tyler, and have them brought to the back as they finally start the journey what is known as a fight club. Like the title of the movie. Finally, the famous and most overrated scene in the movie everyone references for anything really, and has been even turned to memes and inspirational posts on social media.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. You do not talk about Fight Club.
Okay, for more rules, and now the guys finally fight, since two guys fight each other, because he's at the restaurant and now walking to the bus, since none of them own cars. The two now talk to each other who will like to fight in real life. Tyler would love to fight Ernest Hemingway, the book writer, author. Would like to fight the actor William Shatner from Star Trek. The older TV show from the 70s, not the new ones of today. And now a quote by Tyler Durden.
That what a man looks like?
Self-improvement is masturbation.
Pretty much reflects the internet of today effectively. So now back at Fight Clubs as Tyler Durden fights someone else individually after getting face slammed on the ground multiple times. Now at the hospital telling the doctor that he fell downstairs and that's how he got the wound. He carries on with his life, and now finally a call from Marla Singer. As we see Tyler Durden training the funniest way possible. Wannabe Bruce Lee, you'd probably say. So Marla says that has been showing up for any of the support groups in the last 2 months. And she's been a little nosy to see that she is keeping track of attendance of those support groups.
This is bad.
Oh man, Tyler Durden, clown. He joined a new only men support group, but instead of hanging up, he just sets the phone right there. That is one big mistake he did, which you will see later. So now we see some vibrated still shots of Marla Singer with no clothes on, while she's I won't show that. Watch that on your own, and it was just a dream. I knew it was too good for Marla Singer. You wouldn't do that to her in real life. So now he gets up to spot that Tyler's room door is closed and only to see a bunch of condoms inside the toilet. Or in his toilet. So now he hears footsteps thinking that's Tyler, but instead...
What? This is my house. What are you doing in my house?
Fuck you.
It's Marla Singer. Now you know why. Tyler had condoms in his toilet. Concerned why she's here and tells her to leave. Remember that mistake I told you that... Well, you see, Tyler noticed the phone and wasn't hanged up properly. And he made his way to Marla's apartment. Now the cops are here to notice that a girl is going to kill herself who lives in the building, who's actually Marla Singer who's going to kill herself, and makes it up that the girl living in that room is in there who's killing herself. So now back to reality as Tyler asks Steve if he Marla, and he said he would never do that. Now Tyler makes it clear that if he tells anyone, the Fight Club is done. Him Marla. He's now training for the next Fight Club night and hears a shit ton of moaning from Tyler's room. He goes to check now and it doesn't even look like she was getting f***ed. She had clothes on the entire time. Back to work with a cigarette in his mouth, as well as his boss coming in to see that he looks dirty and should take the rest of the day off. And so he does, and still hears Tyler and Marla now gets a call back from a detective about his apartment being blown up and some details of how the fire got started. But he says that this fire wasn't a one-day thing. This was planned in advance. As Tyler now walks down, he's talking on the phone, just bullshits, and goes back to Marla. Marla comes in before she goes and now leaves, and here comes down Tyler again as he chuckles, and now he has to make soap, and for that he needs fat from a clinic. This as they steal as many bags of fat to make his soap that Tyler sells. Now back at home, as they boil the fat to make the soap, it even shows how to make homemade dynamite.
Here's your hand, please.
What is this?
This is chemical murder. The first one you got. What does that tell you about God? Listen to me.
So he did all this to teach a life lesson. Leaving two are now at a department store for Tyler to replace his soap, and that's that. Back at work, his boss finds the Fight Club's rules from the printer. Starts to get a little cocky here, simply because he's having his insomnia attacks again. You can tell. Now a call from Marla Singer as she has a lump on her. Why don't she call Tyler instead?
Will you excuse me? I need to take this.
So he does see Marla again delivering food to people in need. Does check Marla's for the lump and says nothing is there, and now he leaves. And guess who we're seeing after all this time? Bob from the testicular cancer group, as he has Krispy Kreme donuts in his hand, and even says that he attends Fight Club every Tuesday and Thursday. So Steve says he is a member of Fight Club too, as the next scene we do see fighting Bob in real time. And now Tyler's back as he looks around, sees that there are so many new faces, and some of these guys are breaking the first two important rules of Fight Club. And now on to a lecture on life, and we also see another blonde-haired guy who also joined the club recently, played by Jared Leto. And now Tyler repeats the first two rules again for Fight Club, or of Fight Club. But before that, we see this fat guy and his bodyguard, and his name is Lou, who's the owner of the place, and it's called Lou's Tavern. Pretty obvious there. Extremely pissed off, and Lou just punches Tyler because he can't do anything, since Lou could be a mafia mob boss and he continues to get punched.
Lou.
So Tyler grabs Lou's collar and almost chokes him to death as he shakes his blood onto his face, and Lou lets him keep the Fight Club running in his bar. So now onto the homework assignment. Tyler tells the members to start a fight with someone they know, but to lose that fight. And now we see some clips of some members who have started the homework assignment and it's not going well. For the people who are being parts of the fight, starts with his boss and now he calls security, but does instead.
What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Oh God, no, please, no, no.
Now you know what inspired the SpongeBob episode from the early 2000s. So now that's done, as security now walks in to take away since he got fired. Well, at least still has Fight Club to look forward to. As we're now back at Fight Club with a fight happening right now and with more homework assignments. And now they cause destruction around the city, even making pigeons shitting on the cars at the dealerships. So now Tyler does something extreme as he now takes out his gun and kicks the shopkeeper out, or the employee of the shop, asking technical questions about the employee's life, and runs away.
Run on.
You can tell Tyler didn't watch Forrest Gump, the Tom Hanks movie, to the poor kid, and only to see there was nothing in the gun, it was empty. But yeah, Tyler does have a plan. Next scene, we are back at the Durden residence, and Marla Singer is there too. And we also find out Chloe, the girl with the cancer, who was desperate to have sex one last time, is now dead. As the two now argue, we see Tyler downstairs that says exactly what Tyler says to give her to Marla for now. He now goes down to see that there are a bunch of bunk beds in the basement as the new Fight Club recruits will be selected to live down there. As this guy is desperate and tries to become part of Fight Club as badly as he can. As Tyler finally lets him in after listing all of these requirements. And we also see Bob begin wanting to join too. Now the new recruit shaves his head as the new recruit becomes a recruiter after yelling at Bob and Jared Leto that they're not fit for Fight Club. So now it's pretty much looking like boot camp at the Durden residence, and Lou probably really kicked these guys out for good. Back with some beers with all the Fight Club members and see on the news that the police commissioner on TV is concerned with all of the city destruction is occurring due to underground boxing clubs. And the news host you see there on TV is actually Jeff Bezos' current girlfriend, Lauren Sanchez. Yeah, I know.
About an hour ago. Live from the Parker Morris building, Lauren Sanchez, back to you in the studio.
So now they've seen the smiley face mess they've made on this building. So now the Fight Club guys have made it to the mayor's meeting pose as waiters and followed the commissioner they saw on TV around. That was interviewed by Lauren Sanchez when she was a lot younger. As they follow him to the bathroom, and we see Tyler Durden pulling the commissioner, threatening him to stop the underground club investigation, or else they'll cut his nuts off.
Do not fuck with us.
The guys now walk out and back to Fight Club as now fights Jared Leto. I honestly don't know his name in the movie since he's just there. He takes it a little too far and punches Jared Leto a little too much, and is now needed hospital care. We're driving somewhere else now and pissed off that he didn't know anything about Project Mayhem, which was mentioned before. So they argue about it, and now we hear some disturbing truths.
Why do you think I blew up your condo?
What the hell? So Tyler continues to drive and even crashes into this other car. And the next day, he's waking up to the sound Tyler's narration, even though he's awake as he looks around with all of the Fight Club members and even see the names on the wall. As we see the injured Jared Leto stopping to look at the file on the wall. Now feels isolated as Marla is back again and tells her that Tyler has gone away. And it's all starting to make sense now. Two of the Project Mayhem guys have brought back a shot member after trying to destruct some parts of the city, as a cop shot the member in the head, and that member who did get shot is actually Bob.
You're running around in ski masks trying to blow things up? What did you think was gonna happen?
You know, the guy with the big tells the guys to give Bob a proper burial. Now Jared Leto here just repeats Bob's full name and the rest go along with it. He just runs upstairs as after he does get a call from the detective as he hangs up and now checks Tyler Durden's post, or Tyler Durden's past tickets and where he traveled to. So he does and travels and asks many questions about where Tyler Durden can be found, almost as if Tyler Durden is not even a real individual. He thinks he's been setting up Fight Club franchises everywhere, Tyler Durden. And now at this bar, and now finally the truth comes out.
He has facial reconstructive surgery every 3 years. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Hey, Mr. Durden. You're the one who gave me this.
So Tyler Durden does not exist, and never has existed. It was just an insomniac fantasy for all along. So that was just an imaginary friend for him. And even calls up Marla Singer at the hotel to make sure he was the one who was her. You know, from the scene where the condoms in the toilet. So everything about Tyler Durden was all part of Insomniac. So Tyler Durden, like I said, was his imaginary friend all along. All part of his imagination.
What did you just call me? Say my name.
Tyler Durden, you fucking freak. What's going on? I'm coming.
So even Marla believes his real name was Tyler Durden after all those support group frenzies, as well as, her multiple times. So he checks out the hotel and gets back home and even calls up all the locations that the Project Mayhem guys were supposed to tamper with later. He makes sure they're safe, and now he bumps into Marla. So they now go to the restaurant to learn about all this fiasco. And the waiter says everything's for free for Mr. Tyler Durden here, since he is that guy. And the cooks at the restaurant are Project Mayhem members. Pretty obvious there. Tyler, whatever he goes by at this point, tells Marla to get out of town for now, since he has involved himself in Project Mayhem. And he has to do something about it quickly, and he even gives Marla money to go away for now.
Consider asshole tax.
It's fine. Remember, stay out of me.
So there's about 15 minutes left of the movie. It's a pretty long movie. I don't make these movies, but someone has to go over them. Now turns himself into the police, that he is the leader of a terrorist organization now for vandalism across the city. You know what's funny? The movie is almost over, and I still don't know where this movie takes place. Like, what state does the movie take place in? And even goes to the same detective that has been calling the entire time about his blown up apartment, telling him that Project Mayhem will be primarily blowing up credit card companies to eliminate all debts as a starting area. They gotta blow up credit card companies and then buildings and then more destruction. Still, the detective leaves, and these three other cops are actually members of Project Mayhem and are about to take him apart. Takes out a gun right on time, almost after getting his balls cut off, and runs out, and of course with no pants on, as fast as he can, running, and ends up at this hotel, and we see imaginary friend Tyler Durden watching, and shoots the glass at Tyler, and ends up inside here, and goes down to the garage escalators area to see a van with a bomb placed inside it, and tries to unwire it after finding out that Bob was killed by a cop who was already part of Project Mayhem. So I guess Bob wanted to break free. Rips off the green wire, and now we see in the camera footage seeing that's shooting at nobody. Yeah, we knew that. Being beaten up and pushed around by his imaginary friend, and now back to the beginning of the movie.
Ground zero.
I think this is about where we came in.
Now onto the final minutes of the movie, as it sees that the Project Mayhem members are bringing back Marla from the bus she was on earlier. With only 60 seconds to spare for the bomb to go off, has no choice but to get rid of Tyler Durden by shooting himself in the mouth. So Marla is brought up with Tyler Durden officially gone, but Project Mayhem still new, and is still, in full effect, as these guys are told to leave, but leaving Marla knowing what happens and tells her everything's fine, and we ended off here, where all the buildings all being blown up, according to the plan made by Steve, or his alter ego, Tyler Durden. That's it, guys. Fight Club 1999. Good movie. A lot of talk in this video. I'll just leave it off here and see you next time in Blade Runner 2049 with Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. That video will probably be my longest one ever. It's a near 3-hour long movie. So much detail, so much of everything. But like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share the video for all you Fight Club fans, Brad Pitt fans. Probably one of the most overrated movies you can imagine.
You met me at a very strange time in my life.
But take care, see you soon, and watch away, and see you next time, and cheers.
Where is my mind?